Here's another hitting dysfunction called loss of space, and let's jump in. So what is loss of space? So a hitter needs to create and maintain room for his arm to swing down the line of the pitch. There are several ways of losing spacing needed to hit in a big zone or have the sweet spot of the bat traveling down the line of the pitch. The most prevalent is not having enough bend in the knees and the waist to create space for the back elbow to swing past the hips. The second most common is for the pitcher to load his back elbow behind his back where there's no direct path down the line of the pitch. Others are when they strengthen their leg, they strengthen their back, or they move their pelvis closer to the plate. Now, all of these can take away from the room that we need to swing the bat efficiently down the line of the pitch. So these problems can also restrict the ability to transition the energy through the body and up into the arms and the bat. So when we're thinking about loss of space, that's kind of what we're looking at. So here we're going to use this video right here of Addison Russell as we talk about loss of space. So if we're doing it with one of our players or him, we're going to move the video to the start of the positive move and draw a vertical line directly behind the pelvis. If the player has enough forward bend and has maintained a good posture, there should be plenty of room for the back elbow to swing freely past the back hip and down the line of the pitch. So then we move the video forward slowly to contact and pay attention to the relationship between the pelvis and the vertical line of the player is staying with their posture and moving properly. There will be no daylight between the line and the player's pelvis. So you can see Russell doing a really good job of that here and staying in line with his pelvis and that line. So here we're going to use this video right here of Addison Russell as we talk about loss of space. So if we're doing it with one of our players or him, we're going to move the video. So here now we have two other batters. We got the line drawn during their positive move, and now we're kind of watching them go about their swing. So if you notice right here on the left as we start to swing, even with an outside pitch, we may say other things are going wrong, but he still stays in line with not losing loss of space. And then we have Chris Bryant over here doing a really good job, showing us a good example. So here now we have two other batters. We got the line drawn during their positive move, and now we're So here we have a little leaguer going up to bat, just it looks like batting practice here. And you can see as he goes, once we draw that line, as he rotates through, he's going to lose that loss of space in the back, as you can see clearly. So here we have a little. Now looking at a few physical causes, so say we're not doing a motor control with loss of space, maybe a few physical causes. What we see most of the time in the gym or the clinic or in the field is, number one, limited spine and hip mobility. So the spine and the hip are paramount for full and complete turn of the body. And so we've got to make sure our athletes can do that. We could have limited spine disassociation. Now this is just the ability to separate the upper body from the lower body so the shoulders can rotate around the spine for a complete load. Or we could see limited hip or core stability, just the ability to stabilize the hips and core while hitting. And this is those situations where the kid has almost too much mobility, but he can't stabilize in those positions. The same thing with limited ankle mobility. It's just the player's ability to squat and can directly affect their ability to sit into the lower body during the positive move. So now it's like, where are they trying to make up that? Or we see limited shoulder mobility. So limitations in shoulder mobility can cause the lower body to compensate to get the bat on plane. So these are a few things we want to make sure that our player's not doing so that we don't just chalk it up immediately to it's a motor control thing. So here we look at a few examples of some guys doing it really well. So just a reminder that the hitter needs to create and maintain room for his arms to swing down the line of the pitch. And there are several ways that we can lose it. And you're going to notice here that just about none of these do that. Now we do get a lot of good examples here. Sweet swings, good contact, staying down the line of the pitch. Nice. And then we're going to finish up with one more. And here we just have a guy who just made it to the majors, hitting batting practice. And you can see even the major leaguers at times have loss of space.